Hey everybody, welcome to Deep Thoughts on SNL, an SNL companion show. My name is Rob Moden. With me today are alphabetical by first name.
Brian.
Oh, Megan. We did
Yay!
it.
We
That
did
was
it.
really hard.
Yeah, that was really hard. That's hard.
It stressed me out for like 4 seconds.
Okay, today we're here to talk about the Blake Shelton episode of SNL. But first, how is everybody doing? What has everyone done this week? Brian, what's your week been?
I've had a refreshingly quiet week. I don't think I really did much of anything at night this week. The only thing we got tonight is the comedy show we're going to see at Bad Dog. The Suffragettes and Mark and Dan. That's about it for my week. My week was staying in.
What a boring answer, Megan.
I loved it.
I have an even more exciting answer. I went to work, and then I bought some sweatpants today. And that's my week. That was my entire week. They're so comfortable.
Save that for the sweatpants section of the
I know.
podcast.
I need to pre-sell the sweatpants section so people get excited about it.
Such exciting answers, but then I realized I was making fun of you guys.
Rob.
Yeah, hold on. Well, I realized halfway through asking and making fun of you guys that I don't think
You
I have
didn't do
anything to
anything
say
either.
No, I went to TIFF last night to see a movie that was sold out, so I got a drink instead, and that's it.
There you go.
So much fun. That's
Guys,
wild.
guys, how are we the ones who are hosting a podcast about a television show?
Hey, the podcast isn't what did you do this week. It's about a show. We can talk about that show because we watched the show.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're here to talk about the Blake Shelton episode of SNL, which was an episode of television. I
Thank you,
think
Scott Ackerman.
nobody can debate that. I don't think. Let's talk about the sketches. Are there any sketches that anybody wants to talk about right away that they loved? This was a mixed episode, I feel like, according to the internet.
Off the top of my head, the music video for Wishin' Boot really stuck out to me. I enjoyed that. Even though I'm not a country music fan at all, I enjoyed what I think it was Chris Kelly's the writer who
Yeah.
obviously wrote or at least co-wrote it, was discussing about saying this is my take on what modern country music is, and I think across the board people seem to really enjoy it.
Yep, Megan, did you have a favorite?
I mean, I think Update was really great this week. I think
Yeah.
the format change the little bit of a shift that they did was really a step in the right direction. But I can sort of sit on that and expand when we get to the Update portion of the show, if you would like.
Well, we're kind of jumping around. What about Update did you think changed? Because it didn't occur to me that it was a changed format.
Well, I don't know if it was like they sort of broke free of a format, I guess, in
Mhm.
a way where it's like, Colin and Che have been really, really stiff for the entire season, essentially, because it's a new thing and they're getting used to each other and they're getting used to the anchor relationship. And even just breaking out of it with Riblet a little bit, I think made it a bit lighter. Gave them a little bit more interplay. which
4 minutes to Riblet. I just want to note that 4 minutes into the podcast and we hit Riblet. This is going to be the big divide. This is going to be the schism of the podcast.
Rob
Okay,
Moden,
go
noted
ahead.
Riblet hater.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna make every conversation about Riblet for the entire hour. It's gonna be so
For your
good.
entire week, not just the podcast. Like it's going to stick with you the entire week.
Like,
In your
so
life.
Riblet though. Yeah, just every time. No, but it really is like the thing that I guess that I used to love about SNL's Update is like the interplay between the two anchors and the fact that they had a relationship on top of telling these jokes,
Mhm.
and it felt like we sort of lost that a little bit. Obviously, when Seth was alone, he didn't have anyone to really play off of except the characters, so we sort of got spotty versions of it. And then this is sort of a return to form where they have a bit more of an opportunity to latch onto each other and create a sort of an environment other than just two guys sitting beside each other, talking about comedy.
Yeah, that's been our complaint. I think consistently was that when they didn't interact, it was just joke.
Totally.
It felt lesser, but when they have a little banter, either at the end or back and forth,
Mhm.
it was always a little bit better. And this way, like I think we were talking about last night, I thought that Joseph especially had a really strong night, with a couple really good jokes, and then when he totally left Che hanging in that last guest segment, where it's like, come on, Colin, go back me up, and Colin just slides his chair out of the camera range, totally leaves him hanging. And at the end of it, after the good nights, he's like apologizing, tapping on the shoulder. That I think really gelled it for me. I really like that.
I mean, I don't know if I agree. I feel like So every week I kind of read the Split Sider, Vulture, AV Club, Flavor Wire, all these like recaps, and they always seem to be split on whether Update was good or not in that episode. And they always do say the same thing, like they hope for more chemistry between the anchors. And I feel like that happens every other episode, and every time it happens, they're like, finally, there's some chemistry. And then when it doesn't, it's like, why aren't they doing chemistry? But it's always only like one or two instances of like them interacting, and that seems to be enough for people to like praise the show. So I don't know. It feels like they're still like sitting on the fence about whether or not they want to have it be as, you know, back, like I feel like we all look back on Tina Fey and Amy Poehler, or Amy Poehler and Myers, or Tina and Jimmy actually, and remember the moments where they like interacted with each other, but it probably wasn't even as often as Che and Jost interact with each other. Yeah. It's just what we remember. I don't really know what point I'm trying to make.
No, I agree. Like, yeah, no, you're right. It's like they say, oh, they did it, yay, and then they don't do it the next like 2 weeks, and they do it again 1 or 2 more times, then they don't for another 3 weeks. It's I don't know. It's
like
frustrating. We always like it. We always like it, and we praise it, and then they don't do it the next week. It's weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think it steps in the right direction, and I sort of see what you're saying in terms of like going back and physically watching the episodes where you have like Faye and Poehler and you expect that interaction and it doesn't happen. You still love it, you know what I mean? But I think like, I don't know. I think especially with it being like in the middle of the show, it's kind of like the masthead, and it's a new era of SNL. Really, it would be wonderful to sort of see that really reflected in like the centerpiece of the episode, like just some sort of grounding, like amp it up just even for a little bit. You don't have to keep it; just trick us into thinking it's there all the time, and then you can fade away back into joke if you really want to.
I would put forth that the biggest problem with Update is just that the jokes aren't as strongly written as they were, especially during the Seth Meyers era, where like he didn't have interaction with anybody. But I think even at the time, people were looking at his era of Update as a good one because he had such strong jokes, and I think he brought a lot of those writers with him to late night. Not that I'm watching, so I wouldn't know. Unfortunately, sorry. No offense to Late Night with Seth Meyers, but I don't know. All right, so we're going to get back to Wish and Boot, but I feel like we need to address the Riblet situation. I think
all right, we can talk about
official controversy. I feel like there should be some sort of stinger here interrupting as a new segment. Dun dun dun.
Riblet situation. Countdown. Oh, watch. 2015. Look, I love Bobby Moynihan almost anytime he shows up on Weekend Update, and in most sketches. I did not like this character whatsoever.
Even on a rewatch it?
Not. Why would I rewatch something so bad? No.
What?
Look, it was like Max Silvestri like tweeted earlier this week. It's like it's weird that they don't call sketch comedy white guys of weird body shapes just yelling. That stuck in my mind for Riblet. It was like I was kind of delighted whenever he dropped the character to do like an actual straight Weekend Update joke, but it was just yelling. I don't get it. I don't get why everyone loves it. I really don't. Give me an argument on behalf of Riblet.
Megan, you can go first.
I just think he's a chaos machine. Like I love that throwing a character into a situation just to create a mess, and I think that was why everyone liked him so much. Is it really did like break up the joke ping pong that they have going on at that desk, where it's just like, oh, Riblet's going to come in and he's going to tell some jokes, and Che is not going to be happy about it, and just like messing it up and sort of making it a little messier is kind of thrilling and exciting to watch, especially in a segment that plays by the rules so religiously. So maybe it wasn't specifically the character, but it was really like just what he left in his wake, the ghost of Riblet, like that will left and forever will live at that desk. It's what people are really stoked on. I don't know.
And then he came back, which was kind of. You can kind of see it coming. You can kind of see it coming, but this is sheer.
He was like an agent of chaos, but like I mean, the fact that he like took over and had his own version of the Update opening theme with him installed in it really crappily, just stuff like that. Like again, I don't think it was anything necessarily the character. Like there's nothing like it wasn't like a Stefan type of thing where instantly This character has to come back 100 times. He doesn't need to come back 100 times. I could see coming back once more maybe this season, if that. But I mean, it doesn't need to come back like 5 times a season or anything, or every holiday. But it was nice to just break up the
He comes
format.
back by the end of February.
And he was like Shay was not happy. He was there. Like, he interrupted a segment. Like, he started off by talking about Obama has a new rating system. And it's like, and you see him like behind the graphic and all that. And it was like you thought it was like a mistake for a split second in your head. Like, what's going on? So it just looked things like that. I like that. And I like that he's hyper aggressive. Like, he was like not one but 2 mic drops on him and being just really in your. I'm about to say the words in your face, but I'm going to because he was. He's not Poochie in your face, but he was in your face. I like that. It was.
He was my Poochie. He was my Poochie.
There's your pull quote for the episode.
He can die on the way back to his home planet for all I care.
Oh God.
I think that your aversion to him is partly because so many people seem to love him, like were praising him pretty hard last night, and you're like, I didn't like it, and then I loved it. You're like, put down on this one.
No, he deserved all the hate. What did we think of the other? So we touched on Sashir Zameda, which Brian seemed to say was not working.
It was kind of weak until the end when we revealed that she's with Riblet now. I didn't think there's much to it.
Yeah, I kind of tuned out almost immediately.
Yeah.
Because I saw what the joke was going to be. Was going to be like subtle digs at Chase. Megan, do you disagree or?
Yeah, I think it was like especially Sashir, who's like so funny and so capable. It felt like she was kind of boxed in by this really flat character. So it was kind of disappointing to see like, oh, it's just going to be Michael Che and Sashir just being like, we are exes in this particular scenario. Yeah. Do you like it? So yeah, I don't know. It felt like she was playing inside a box a little bit, and I don't know if that's necessarily her fault. I think it was just the character, the constraints of the character.
I agree.
The highlight for me was Pete Davidson doing his usual Pete Davidson stuff, but so it might be kind of diminishing returns, but I still loved it, and it was great.
Mm-hmm. I like any attention on Pete.
And there was one thing that I think Vulture or somebody noted where it was like, this is as far from like homophobic humor as it could possibly be. Like the joke was not that like, hey, he thinks he might be gay, but the joke is like that he went into like such extreme detail about like, well, maybe this just isn't the gay porn for me. I don't know.
Well, he was worried about that he'd be a terrible gay person because he's not attractive enough. In his opinion, he's incorrect. Because like, he considered himself a gay
Megan,
one.
Speak to that. Speak to that.
I wanted to like tweet to him, no, Pete, you're not. I go, no, this is inappropriate from the official.
Brian, as a gay man, what is he on the gay scale? Because he talked about that. He said he's worried he's a gay 1.
No, he's not a 1. That's 100% false. I'd put him at probably a 7.
Ooh, wow. Okay.
I've seen him without a shirt on. It's pretty good.
Is Jost a gay 10? Is Jost a gay 10?
Jost is a gay 10, yes. If you like the type. You don't like. There's obviously different types. He's not like if you're like hairy guys, or we like lumberjack guys, or surfer types. But
metrosexual lumberjacks.
Like got Shelton. The like clean cut GQ cover, suit and tie look down to a T.
Anyway, I interrupted to go on that tangent, but you can continue with your point from before.
What was I saying? Yeah, like he didn't think he'd be a good gay because he doesn't consider himself attractive like he thinks gay people are. He considers like he's a gay 1. And like you were saying the whole thing about like maybe this isn't the franchise for him, so he tried the other franchises. What was it? Frat Boy Orgies, Jackhammer Joe, The Expendables, which I thought was a great little joke. I like you said, it wasn't. I didn't like. I saw someone criticizing that. Oh God. It's so gay panic. I'm glad another 21-year-old comic is worried about gay panic. I go, that's not the point of the segment at all.
No, it was very self-deprecating.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. It's that like
with Jost there at the end with the gay 10, straight 8 gay 10, and Jost like turns to the camera, almost like winks at it for a second and pauses.
It was so good. That was probably one of my favorite jokes of the whole episode. It's so simple and silly, but it was wonderful.
And they brought back one of my favorite little things. They haven't done it for a while. Is just through almost like you were saying, like a format-breaking thing where he talks about the inventor of the instant replay has died. Let's see that again. And they just replay the second just in really slow motion. Love when they do that. Love when they do that stuff.
Meh. That was meh.
Oh, you hate joy.
Hey, I loved the. It was National Hug Day.
Oh,
Dad.
That one was good.
I watched it like 3 times today. The delivery on Dad was spectacular.
Every episode or two, Jost has like one killer joke that he like knocked out of the park, which is what gives me hope. But yeah, should we go back to Wishin' Boot, because I feel like that was the other highlight of the episode for a lot of people.
Wishin' Boot.
Wishin' Boot been in my head. I bugged Megan before this recording by singing over and over while we waited for Brian.
It was great.
Yeah, what was the best image? Was it Kate McKinnon eating boot grapes, or was it the boot that was formerly a dog, like lighting a boot with a knife on fire?
The food one was great when she's putting like sausage links and grapes. When we found out the boot wasn't really the Wishin' Boot, it was like an evil boot which had a knife, was going to kill him, until his boot, which was really the dog, turned into the boot and like fought the other boot. I mean, there's this elaborate backstory there. But also the image of I think it was 80 on screen, where it says the boot is you, and the boot kind of like goes towards her chest and dissolves into like a magical effect. The boot is you. I was on the floor laughing at that. It's such a stupid line. The boot is you.
The boot is you.
And then the ending.
We're gonna make so much fucking money off this.
Make so much money off this song.
It was a swear. It was a swear because Kate got extra points off that swear.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Oh yeah,
there
for sure. And the 80s character's backstory in that, it's like she steals trucks by day and turns tricks by night.
Yeah.
Hookin' by night.
Hooking by night.
I don't know why, but just the saying hookin' with like an apostrophe really did it for me. I don't know why. That little detail.
You really liked Shelton's look in this, didn't you, Rob?
Oh, there's one part where he's like happy that the evil boot is burning, and he's like wide-eyed with his mustache, nodding up and down. Like it was crazy. I want a gif of that immediately. And if nobody's made it by the end of this podcast, I'm gonna be very upset.
Well, get to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, their music videos, I think this season, last season as well, have just been solid.
Mm. It was a highly musical episode in general.
Well, that's not. I mean, it's still people criticizing that when you got to that last or second last sketch where Blake Shelton's singing on Topeka Today. Like, oh great, he's singing again. Well, of course he's going to sing. A, he's a singer. He's good at it. B, he's going to want to promote himself singing, so he's going to want to sing as much as he can. And C, why not? you got serious actors. you got other actors who do certain things and they're not going to sing in theirs. But you have like people like Amy Adams. She's going to sing a lot. She's like singing. She's good at it. So.
Well, I know that Megan had a problem at least with how kind of pandering to the Blake Shelton fan base this episode was theoretically doing at first, whereas music and country.
Oh, I did too.
I think it's the thing that bothered me, and it really is, like, thinking back, it makes sense for the show to be doing it, but, like, you have Blake Shelton hosting. You have all of these people coming to watch the show purely because he's on it. So you sort of need to stack the first 3 sketches with stuff that's, relevant to sort of that demographic. And so the first, like, the cold open was Inflategate, which I guess, it's still a big news item. I was a little bit surprised they didn't do State of the Union, but that's totally understandable. I forgave that. And then they did the monologue, which was that weird hoedown thing.
Hee-haw!
The hee-haw.
Yeah, hee-haw, sorry. And then they did a second, like the Bachelor parody, the actual Bachelor, who's like a legit farmer. And then they had Wishin' Boot. And I was like, by the end of Wishin' Boot, I was like, is this whole episode just going to be country kind of thing? And so it sort of made sense as like a lead-in to be like, yes, come friends, we're getting all of this out of the way so we can get back to what SNL, like brass tacks, like what SNL actually does. So it makes sense from a format perspective because you have that influx of a completely new demographic coming in, and they're going to expect Blake Shelton versus SNL. But it was, I don't know if it was, I feel like I would have loved Wishin' Boot if it was just in a completely different episode, like out of context, just a random country song. But by being the 3rd country sketch in a row at the top of an episode, I was like, I have to go back and watch it because I missed so many jokes just being so turned off by another country sketch.
You need a little palate cleanser in your country.
Yeah.
Well, ironically, I thought, and maybe it was because I was expecting the country stuff, or just I found the first half very funny, but that kind of like back to back pandering to that audience, maybe, didn't really occur to me. And then, ironically, as the second half of the episode kind of got weirder, or at least more normal SNL, where it was like a sketch about a cannibal who is trying to get parole, the magician thing. Like, I didn't find those sketches as good. So once they left kind of the trying to appeal to a certain audience, potentially a middle America audience, I thought the episode actually got weaker. Because I loved the Hee Haw opening or monologue, which apparently nobody else did. But I liked that it took a turn, and then it turned into like them constantly just like basically roasting him, to like making fun of like had sex with his mom, with his wife, or no, his wife's cooking is terrible. Had sex with his sister. Constantly bringing it back up. He keeps going like, guys, why are you doing this?
What I liked about that first, and I always had the same thing. I think I tweeted, "Oh God, are we really doing the simple country boy in the big city, fish out of water angle? Really, we're doing this?" But then he's like, "Hey, let's do hee haw country songs." And he tries to show them, but being the I don't say terrible, but the New York northern people, they don't get that sweet country humor, so they bring in their northern East Coast vibe to the jokes, and they're doing them wrong. He's like, no. He's like trying to correct them. Do a nice country joke, and they try to, at least in their minds, but of course it's warped by their New Yorker big city perspective, and that's what I liked about. They're making fun of them, not him. Like,
it reminded me of
the target.
It reminded me of this. Maybe I'm just a sucker for like an old-timey comedy setup with like modern jokes and sensibilities put into it, because it reminded me of the Super Ego sketch where it's like Milton and Dupree, and it's like an old variety show where it's like, hey Milton, yeah, Dupree, and it's like, go fuck yourself, or like
I feel like that's not.
I'm underselling it because they actually have like funny jokes in there, and then the go fuck yourself is because it's an improvised podcast. It's like just when they run out of ideas, they just start insulting each other within that setup.
Well,
but
you had like
it's funny.
Here you had like Leslie Jones being almost like our surrogate, being from like East Coast North or whatever like that. No, I do not like this. She's like disagreeing with the type of humor.
Whatever.
And then they won her over at the end.
And you didn't like Farm Hunk? Which I
liked it.
Okay, I liked the mention of the inbuilt racism of the show, and the Kate McKinnon back to back with every single girl. It just makes it so much obvious how like Kate McKinnon can find the perfect line reading or like details to sell anything that she's given.
Like she's bringing spaghetti, she's bringing a macaw.
But that's like written for her. It was like like when she first said, she was like the second girl or something to say, "Can I borrow him for a second?" But she actually like did it with like, "Can I borrow him for a second?" in like a weird way that I can't replicate. No, where like clearly. it was just like obviously just the way that she read the line, which was great.
It was great. Look, I liked it. Well, I was a big fan. I don't know if you guys saw it. Season 2 of Joe Schmo, when they did a Bachelor spoof for the whole season, they had two schmoes who were not in on the joke, and the setup was like a Bachelor-type show with a man and a woman as the Bachelors, each picking a different suitor, and they had those archetypes. They had the bitch, they had the player, they had the fat rich guy, they had the drunk girl. And they also, in the very first like 5 minutes of the show, they eliminated every minority except one. Like everyone who was a minority got eliminated within 5 minutes. And the real people were like, "Oh, I felt terrible for these people," and all the actors are laughing because that's the joke. These shows are always the same. The minorities always get cut early, and he makes a joke at the top of it saying, "Oh, I'll probably send the black girls home this week." Like he makes a joke, and they go, "Yep, so I'm on board with this sketch. I like the Bachelor spoof."
Oh. Megan, are there any other sketches you wanted to talk about?
I think the only point I wanted to bring up is that I feel like they do a magician, like somebody doubts a magician and then is immediately won over by the magician type sketch every season.
Like, really? I'm trying to think of another one.
They did one. I should have come prepared.
You did not. Like... You specifically told me at the beginning you have not come prepared.
Check your Twitter feed. Maybe you tweeted about it.
I did. I almost did, and then I stopped myself. But I feel like they do that like pretty much every season. But it doesn't necessarily feel like this again. Like I'll still watch it and enjoy it, but it was just funny to me to be like, oh my god, another magician sketch. You know what I mean?
I really like the concept of it, where he's all of a sudden asking for like all these gifts and stuff, but just repeating kind of the same ones over again, whether it was make me rich or gun hands over and over again.
Like he lost his place in the cue card, so he just kept saying the same thing 5 times over. Like, I don't know what my line is, so I'll just say the same line over and over and over.
There was some weird timing where I'm not sure if like it was scripted exactly when he was going to interrupt Taryn or not, because it was sometimes where it was like clearly like very well timed, and sometimes where it's like talking over each other a little bit in a way that didn't seem prepared. But yeah, I liked Darlin Joan as much as you could kind of see where it was going, because it had great details about like does the devil let you, does the devil let you swear at him in front of your friends, like just like these little bits that fill out the backstory. I go to the bathroom and I read the Bible for strength.
Do they let you use your humidifier in hell? Was one of my favorite lines from this.
2 layers to that one. Which is
it was the pictures of Kate in the background just made that for me. Like, they're so classically old-timey, like the swinging thing, and her love of expensive hats, and she's wearing this elaborate old-timey hat that you would have worn at church or something. And like the pictures of them at their wedding ceremony, where you can see him just looking at her, like giving her a side look, and she's all beaming. They were just perfect little touches. Like, I wish somehow they could have had her in it, but obviously since she's dead, she couldn't be involved with it. But the
underrated aspect is just Taron Killam in the old timey makeup, constantly nodding and shaking his head, happy,
like singing along.
Yeah. Really happy that his song came to fruition.
Your hatred of animals rattles me to my core. That's such a great bit.
And then there was, I don't know, there was a few others that I think we've naturally skipped
Family
over.
Family Feud, we skipped over, yeah.
They were nothing. Deflategate was, I like Bobby Moynihan and Kate McKinnon, how much commitment they put into that few good moment.
Totally.
There was
the best part of it.
The parole board, I liked the turn of like Keenan being a cannibal, but after that it was kind of whatever.
It was one joke. He was a cannibal. They didn't like him, and they just kept yelling at him for that. And like I don't think you realized it until later, but my first thought was, is he doing Morgan Freeman from Shawshank Redemption? Or
that's how
trying to do it.
That's how much Keenan was doing a Keenan voice. One of his 3 voices. Really harsh on Keenan in this show. But
he was what's the opposite of an MVP in this episode? From like sketch 1, it was like, nope, not having Keenan tonight.
I only realized when they mentioned Andy at the end that it was supposed to be a Morgan Freeman specific riff. Anyway, any overall thoughts on the episode, Megan?
I think there were real highlights and there were real lowlights, but I think that on the whole it was pretty solidly put together for an episode hosted by Blake Shelton, who I'm sure is a wonderful person and very talented, but I didn't really expect much from.
He seems like a nice boy.
Yeah, he's
got a nice personality.
He's going to listen to this podcast. I don't want to hurt his feelings. So, but I think it exceeded my expectations.
Brian?
Yeah, me too. It was a strong first half, like we're saying. I thought the first 3-4 sketches were pretty strong overall. Mostly strong update for me. He surprised me. I was not expecting much. Watch The Voice. I don't know country music, so I didn't know what to expect. But I liked all the pre-press that he was doing, or just promoting the show was doing. He seemed really excited about doing this show.
Oh, he seems excited at the goodbyes. He was like, I hosted SNL.
Yeah, he tweeting, I hosted SNL. I like when they're really excited. So I think that translated well. I think he was pretty good. I mean, I liked him. I would not be, like, maybe in a couple of years, seeing him again, it wouldn't surprise me. I think he had fun. He seemed to have fun with the cast. It was a pleasant surprise.
He was game, but he wasn't necessarily the most capable.
Well, they didn't break him out of a mold by any means. Like, he didn't break out of anything like a Justin Timberlake, where you're kind of surprised when you first see him hosting. Like, oh wow, the kid's got chops. Like he was good, and he seemed to have fun with it, which is the most you can really think of. And I did like I was teasing it before we went on air. The artsiness of this episode, the brilliance, the cinema verite of it. Where in the opening sketch, the cold open, the ending of the sketch was, of course, a cut to Kenan Thompson pulling a hilarious face. The very last sketch, the magician sketch, ended with Kenan Thompson pulling yet another hilarious face. That is art, my friends. Bookending. It's beautiful.
I want to note that Megan is applauding and not myself.
Because you're just stunned.
I think that speaks to Brian Tucker's. I think that speaks to Brian Tucker's theory that SNL writers just put Keenan reacts in square brackets in the script.
I was annoyed both times.
Megan, what was your tangent?
My tangent was actually Blake Shelton. I don't know if he actually tweeted this or not. I only saw a screen cap of it, but he he tweeted he was doing promo for SNL, obviously, and so they sent him to Fallon, as you do.
Oh, I think I shared this tweet with you.
And you might have sent it to me
Go
actually,
ahead.
where he's like, I wonder what shit Jimmy Fallon's gonna have me do this week or whatever. And it was just like, it was totally Rob that sent it to me, 100%. But
I think I shared it with the group because it was like it might just be funny to me because I think I mentioned that last week on like at midnight, Jen Kirkman was on, and it was like some game where she just said, in the future, celebrities will be able to go on Jimmy Fallon and talk and not just take part in beer pong and dumb charades or whatever.
It just was lovely. I really thoroughly enjoyed it.
As much as I like all the videos that come out of Fallon, like watching the celebrities do dumb things, I am entertained by the idea that there's like a slight groundswell of backlash of celebrities just like, I have to fucking go on Fallon.
You'd like to imagine them talking to each other. What are you doing this week? Oh, I got to do promos for the movie. I'm going on Conan. Then I go on Fallon. It's like, oh, what game do you think he's going to have to play? Oh, God, I hope not.
Well, I think Blake Shelton last time he was on was like in a chicken suit doing one of those chicken songs, like where they go. That bit, yeah.
Does it not seem like so much fun to you guys though? Like I would love to do something.
It seems like super fun, but I
can
totally see that celebrities would be like, I don't want to. I don't want to.
Especially on like week
everyone
6 of their promotion jag around the country or the world, where they do go to 800 different talk shows or press junkets, and they go, I gotta put a chicken suit on? For God's sake, I just want to go home.
So now everyone knows Megan is up for putting on a chicken suit if you ask her.
Okay,
I will do literally anything stupid. I just love stupid garbage like that.
Points. Let's talk about points in the episode. So I don't think anybody drafted Blake Shelton. He was a complete surprise to all of us. But how much do you think he did? As we always have to say, unofficial, because Russell is going to do his official tally, and pretty much completely arbitrary because it's basically just like 5 points for showing up, 5 points for singing, blah blah blah.
I think
I feel the need to say it because cast members are apparently upset about being ranked and scored on the internet. So.
Forget them. I think the singing will help. I'm going to say in the 70s range. The singing, I think, helped.
I would say.
Well, you're both wrong by my count. 50 points.
What? That's so low.
He was beaten by 2 cast members, Kate McKinnon with 53.
Surprised me.
Although that's counting when she introduced him as a musical guest. You saw her dancing as the camera was going away, and I counted that.
I caught that.
Yep. And then Bobby Moynihan, 51 points.
Yes!
Yeah.
I need the points.
Followed immediately, Sarah's in the background here, waving her arms because she's super happy about her choices. And then Taryn with 42.
Okay.
Keenan with 40.
Yeah.
Then Cecily J, Sashir, all mid-30s. Leslie and Pete in late 20s.
Oh, not bad.
80, 25. Vanessa 20. Kyle Mooney 17, and Beck Bennett 15. Kyle Mooney and Beck Bennett have been having trouble getting sketches on lately. I feel like they keep showing up as cut for time.
But I feel like that makes sense for this particular episode because Good Neighbor's so niche-y, and this episode felt like it was trying to broaden just a little bit. So it kind of makes sense this week, although I am disappointed because I always enjoy their sketches. But
it also seemed like they ran out of time. Like there was towards the end, it was like there's literally like it's 12:55 I checked, and then it's like, oh, we're coming back. They're gonna do like what a 2-minute sketch or something. And no, it was like the camera just going down the middle of the floor up to the babies were just jamming out for like a minute straight, and it's like somebody misjudged some time somewhere, or all the magician weird cues and timings caught up with them. Sorry, I interrupted Brian.
No, you're saying oh my God, I'm totally blanking now. Never mind, go on.
Well, good job, Brian. Now
you interrupted.
So continuing the trends of Keenan doing well, Kate doing
very well.
I think very well for the first time in a while. She and 80 seem to both kind of slip away, even as I feel like their online support is that 80 and Kate should be in every single sketch, which I don't disagree with because they're great.
I think she was a good, like, you find a lot of hosts have, like, one person they do a lot with. Just chemistry is really good, or they just click. I think she was the co-host, in a way, to Blake Shelton this week. She was a good sparring partner for him, I thought.
Yeah.
Totally.
And maybe worth noting, it's kind of cool that, in an episode that was maybe pandering towards Middle America, a lesbian cast member does the best out of everybody. So.
Oh, Rob, you always have to make it so political.
Oh, man. Guys, I thought it was neat. I'm sorry.
Why do you always throw it in our face, Rob?
Fine.
So sad.
You guys don't play the so sad game. You guys were mocking me relentlessly on Twitter last night, on Facebook. I couldn't go anywhere on social media
without being we're cyberbullying Rob.
For disliking the wrong sketches, or apparently being happy that a lesbian cast member did well in a Red State episode.
They're gonna
make a movie about us. They're gonna cast us as the villains in some cyberbullying movie about poor Rob.
I feel like I could crush a cyberbullying role. I feel like I could do really well at that.
I think
Black Hat 2, all the hackers get mad at Chris Hemsworth and come back to cyberbully him.
I like that Rob is the Chris Hemsworth of this.
Why are you? This is the direct-to-video sequel where they can only afford me and they can't afford Thor anymore. All the hackers come back. Why did you hack us? You're dumb. You're a dummy. I hate you. And then me/Chris Hemsworth keep blocking them on Twitter, and they make a new account, and it's like you can't stop them.
You can't stop us, evil genius.
Compelling.
Shall we get? So news. There's not much news this week. J.K. Simmons was announced as the next host, which we're all super excited by.
Very excited.
If you could,
no one drafted him, by the way.
No, but I drafted Miles Teller because I thought that I didn't think there was a chance for a 55-year-old, I'm just guessing, actor to be drafted, but to be chosen. But if everyone could pick one J.K. Simmons role or movie that they hope gets parodied, which one would they go with, Brian?
Well, obviously, I think Spider-Man is probably the biggest one. That's the most
That'd be mine, yeah.
marketable one. But, I mean, he's old era Spider-Man. I don't know if they would do that.
Oh, Megan?
I don't know. I feel like it would be funny if they just let him do his thing. I mean, he's such a funny guy. I feel like he doesn't even really have to be a character. They could just throw him out.
Megan's not playing sides. She's not going to pick a movie.
She loves all her children equally.
It doesn't matter that Kate McKinnon is lesbian. She's just another person who, in the cast.
I like that that's a mockable sentiment, that she's just a person.
I'm going to log off of this podcast recording and just destroy Rob online. Every Facebook, Twitter, every social network.
Rob exists in MMM Megan.
I had the opposite reaction. I felt like I should write Rob an apology note and
you should.
mail it to him.
You should.
Rob, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings.
But anyway, J.K. Simmons hosting based on Whiplash, hashtag Year of the Drums. So.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's go to trivia games. So we're gonna play a series of games here to figure out who is the best at knowing stuff about SNL. 1 second, I gotta find something to write with. This is well prepared. Well prepared indeed. Okay. I'm just gonna try and keep track myself. So first game we're gonna play is 6 Degrees of SNL. So on tonight's episode.
Right.
Or last night's episode, Blake Shelton was the host. As revealed in the Celebrity Family Feud, did you know there are 2 singing competitions? There are. One is The Voice. One is American Idol. So we're going to talk about episodes of SNL featuring hosts or musical guests who are judges on one of those programs.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah. So I'm going to give you 3 hosts and 3 musical guests in a random order. And you have to match who was on the same episode.
Does that excite me to these shows?
So, Brian, going by alphabetical, would you like to pick The Voice or American Idol?
I got to American Idol.
All right. So the 3 hosts are Jennifer Lopez, Jonah Hill, and Ellen DeGeneres.
Mm-hmm.
The musical guests are No Doubt, Jennifer Lopez, and Mariah Carey.
Oh, seriously?
Feels like a trick. I'm gonna go.
It might be. It might be. It might not.
I got it's obvious. J-Lo, Ellen, No Doubt, Mariah Carey, Jonah Hill.
That is correct in all 3 counts. You just got 3 points. Yep. Congratulations. No congratulations from Megan. She's just a sore loser. Megan, you have a category of The Voice.
Okay.
Your 3 hosts are Gerard Butler, Adam Levine, and Christina Aguilera. And your musical guests are Kendrick Lamar, Maroon 5, and Shakira.
Okay. This is for sure a trick. So, Adam Levine, Kendrick Lamar, for sure. I remember that episode. Okay. And then... Oh, wait, is that right? Oh, I'm stressed out now. Okay, I'm going to go Shakira, Gerard Butler, and Aguilera, Maroon 5.
Those are all correct, so you have 3 points. So we're up 3-3 for moving on to the next round. Sketch or Sketchy. This is...
Oh, I do like these.
This is the game. It's slightly changed from before, but this is the game where I'm going to list 2 sketch premises, one of which has actually been on SNL, and one of them I made up. You have to tell me which is the real sketch and which is the fake.
This is so much harder than you think.
First is Brian. Brian, which of these 2 sketches is a real sketch? The Mr. Belvedere fan club, or an advertisement for timeshares of unused Y2K bunkers?
I'm very confident it's Mr. Belvedere is the real sketch.
That is true. It was a Tom Hanks sketch.
Yes.
So that's 1 extra point for Brian. Megan, which of these 2 sketches is real? A pie house gets trashed when the customers find out only pecan pie is available. Or a dog in space movie is constantly interrupted by in memoriam montages for the dogs who died on set.
Okay, this is a shot in the dark. I think the pecan pie one is the real sketch.
You are incorrect. The pecan pie sketch was made up by me.
Great detail.
A dog in space. There's a sketch. I believe it's Keenan is the producer or director of a dog in space movie called Rocket Dog, which is constantly interrupted by in memoriam montages for the dogs who kept dying on set.
That's great.
It's pretty good.
All right, so we're 4-3 for Brian. Brian.
Okay.
Two more rounds of this.
Thanks for reassuring us. There's
Brian.
only 2 rounds left.
Brian, which of these is real? An oblivious suit warehouse owner tries to run a birthday suit promotion for half off of a suit on your birthday. Or a guest on morning television is forced to eat rancid clams.
I'm going to say Rancid Clams is real.
That is correct. Rancid Clams was a Gilda Radner sketch.
Wow.
Wow.
Yep. 5-3. Megan.
Okay.
A lawyer who only sues scary or spooky creatures like gremlins, gorillas in astronaut helmets, or woolly mammoths.
Okay.
Or everyone in a convenience store turns on a customer who takes a penny from the take a penny, leave a penny tray.
Okay, I am fairly confident that the penny one is real.
Incorrect. It is a lawyer played by Maya Rudolph who will only sue gremlins, gorillas in astronaut helmets, and woolly mammoths.
I was with you. I thought that penny one was real.
I thought I put too much detail into, like, real detail of what she will sue. I thought that was way too obvious, but there we go.
Do I
No,
even
I was on
watch
your
the
side
show?
there.
I don't know if I watch the show anymore. Like, what's going on? Okay,
All right.
keep going.
Here we go. Brian, you're up 5-3.
Yes.
A Native American comedian appears on Weekend Update and disparages the anchor's place of birth.
All right.
Or MTV Senior, featuring energetic but gray-haired VJs spinning only ragtime hits.
Just because I want it to be real, I want that MTV one to be real.
No, it's a Native American
Damn it,
comedian
damn
played
it.
by Fred Armisen in one of his famous anti-comedy pieces.
Yeah. So many of them.
hmm Megan, you have the chance
Okay.
to catch up here a little bit.
Okay.
A door-to-door alarm salesman knows way too much about the home's lack of security.
Okay.
Or someone constantly falls down the stairs in an old movie.
The falling down the stairs is real.
Yes, that is
Yeah.
a Melissa McCarthy sketch
Yeah,
from a couple
I
years ago.
remember that one. That was really, really funny, actually.
All right, I disagree. 5-4.
Oh, dear.
5-4.
Hold on.
All right, moving on to calendar trivia. Now,
Oh, God.
people who listened last week know that over the holiday break, I got this Saturday Night Live trivia calendar, where every day has another quote or mostly trivia. Now, for bonus points, I'm also going to include on the back of every page is trivia that is completely unrelated to SNL whatsoever. Just general trivia about like how to clean your home or weird national days that nobody really recognizes, but there you go. So here we go. It's 5-4 for Brian.
Mm-hmm.
Let's start with Megan because she's behind. So.
Okay. Thanks. That's charitable of you.
Megan, what was the slogan for Einstein Express, which was a commercial on Saturday Night Live in the 80s?
Oh my god.
Is it A, because excellence shouldn't be relative? B, when it absolutely positively has to be there the day before yesterday? Or C, finally, a train that converts its matter into pure energy?
God. Okay, my 80s trivia is so bad. I'm gonna guess B.
That is correct, when it absolutely positively has to be there the day before yesterday. Now, here's how we're going to play it. Brian, because it was her question, you get to get a chance at the bonus point here.
Okay.
January 24th is what day?
Looking at my desk calendars is not helpful.
5, 4, 3.
No
2.
clue.
Peanut butter day. Brian.
I hate you.
You hate me. Aw.
Ripping up my apology note.
5-5. Brian, also from the 80s. How many bowls of competing cereal does it take to match the fiber in one bowl of colon blow? 2, 1 million, 30,000, or 10?
It's not two or colon blow? Not super colon blow, right? Super colon blow is a real reference from that sketch.
Okay. Nope, just colon blow then. You weird obsessive.
It's a great sketch. Phil Hartman. You guys should watch that. It's a great sketch.
I remember the sketch. I don't remember that there was a super colon blow because I have a social life.
On the sketch. To colon blow, I think it's.
I'm gonna put a time limit on you if you don't.
I'm gonna say 10.
It's 30,000.
Damn it! That was my second choice.
Megan, you get the chance at the bonus point.
Okay.
What is the correct spelling of inoculate?
Oh, come on!
Oh, yes! Yes! I used to be spelling bees in the 7th grade. Okay. So if I get
How is
this
that a
wrong,
trivia question in a printed format?
Listen,
okay, so-
Brian, the calendar version has has a multi-choice of 3 different spellings. I'm not even giving her that.
Okay, I'm gonna guess it's INOCULATE.
That is correct. Megan is up 6-5.
I'm doing the voice thing.
Turning the chair. Megan, this might be an easier one. Megan, from the 2000s, what is the name of Will Forte's soft-spoken political character?
Senator Tim Calhoun.
There you go.
Yeah.
7-5.
He
Brian,
might be my favorite character ever. He's so good. Oh,
Brian, what can you dampen a sponge in to help clean shower doors?
What? Shower doors. Water?
No, it's white vinegar. Very
hate
good
you
at keeping your shower door sparkling clean.
much.
7-5 for Megan, if I'm keeping score correctly. Brian, from the 80s, what year was the unfrozen caveman lawyer unthawed?
Ooh. Can you give me a range of dates?
I'll say it's
Twice?
the 80s.
No, that's not helpful.
That's way more.
No, I obviously know it's the 80s. It's Phil Hartman. I know it's not 1973.
Yeah, but within the sketch.
I know, but I'm going to say 88.
You are correct, actually.
Oh!
Now, so it's 7-6. Now, Megan, do you think it's okay if I give Brian the chance to get this bonus point based on the back of the calendar trivia?
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
Brian, what day is January 16th?
If I could punch through the screen, I would. I am going to answer accurately and say it is my friend Drew's birthday, and you can't disagree because it is his birthday, and you gave no further parameters.
I'm sorry, the calendar is the utmost authority, and the calendar says
Fuck
it is
you.
do nothing day. Megan wins 7-6 on in this game of SNL and non-SNL trivia.
Congratulations, Megan. I would say you earned it, but Rob's just awful.
Well, you should probably read up on your calendar, your January days, is all I'm saying. Maybe.
Look, all I'm saying, this calendar is available for anyone to buy if they want to study up on the calendar trivia.
I already have 2 calendars. I don't need a third one.
All right, I believe that's it for today's episode. Any parting thoughts on Blake Shelton or SNL or just hating me and trivia?
I'm never speaking to you again.
Mm-hmm. I'll see you tonight at the show we're both going to.
See you tonight. A pleasant surprise Blake Shelton was. I enjoyed it much more than I expected to. And I'm really looking forward to J.K. Simmons next week.
Oh, so much. It better be good. Oh, please.
Yeah, please be good.
Megan?
SNL is a great show. If you haven't watched it, you should check it out.
I don't know if you've heard the show, guys.
If you haven't watched SNL and you're listening to this podcast, you should check it out. It really helps the enjoyment, the experience.
Those are the people who listen to the DVD commentaries before watching a movie.
True
I
fact.
want to meet
True
those
fact.
people.
Because I was scared at age 11 or something, I watched the special features for The Sixth Sense before watching the movie. That's what they spoil immediately.
You know what I really hate about that sentence is that you were 11 and there were DVDs available. That's horrifying.
Seriously, Brian, guess what they spoil immediately in the special features of this?
No, really? They ruined the movie for you in the special features?
They seem to assume that you've seen the movie.
Well, I wonder why.
Yeah. Yeah. So we will be back. Brian, where can people find you? Find your work?
On Twitter at CoconutPhone77, and I also mostly handle the at Deep Thoughts on SNL Twitter account too. If you want to hit me up, either place.
Yeah, you can follow it for news about SNL people and stuff. Yeah. Megan, where can people find you?
People can find me on Twitter at MMMEGAN, and I'm also on YouTube /Megan MacKay, just my name.
And I'm on Twitter at RobExists, and same on YouTube. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Bye.
Bye-bye.